Welcome to the Mazzini Society Report. I'm Dennis Cerati, and I'm focusing today on words sent in an email from Gaza by Palestinian historian Muhammad Jihad Ismail. For the past several weeks, Ismail has fled with his wife and children through a horrific gauntlet of Israeli bombs, guns, and mortars, viewing firsthand the horror of what most in the world now recognize as a genocide, and in that journey showing firsthand the suffering and violent deaths of relatives and friends. They are now living in a crude tent near the southern city of Rafah. Despite the chaos, violence, and mayhem affecting their lives, Ismail recently took the opportunity to document his experience in a brief article he entitled "Whisper to the Broken Pillar." His words speak for themselves, and they will shock you and pull at your heartstrings. Along with his words, we also have photos taken during their ordeal. Finally, before we begin, I want to thank historian Dr. Jack Dempsey, who, through his close friendship and concern for the Palestinian people, has provided the content from his own website. And you'll find a link to that website at the end of this video and below in the summary. Now, let us hear Muhammad's words. He begins with a warm greeting to Dr. Dempsey. Good morning, dear brother. I hope you and Angie are well and in good health. Today, the weather is sunny, and we are enjoying the sunshine. Nothing is new here in Rafah, except the worsening of our humanitarian situation. I have emailed you in an article that I wrote recently. It is a humble article, written with my humble English. I hope you will read it, correct its errors, and help it to reach the world's readers. Whisper to the Broken Pillar. I am living these days inside a plastic tent in Rafah, beside the border of Egypt and the Sinai Desert. I am living a very strange life, as I sleep in the day and stay awake all the night, to guard my wife, my son, and my two small daughters from the attacks of wild dogs, to thwart raining leakage inside the tent, and to alert my family from any nearby shooting, shelling, or sudden advance of Israeli tanks. Night in winter is a curse. Winter night is too long, too cold, and too depressing. I have no light inside the tent to read a book, no electricity to listen to the radio, no internet to see news or social media. All I can do in the 13 hours of night is cry on the ruins of my memories and sink into nostalgia. Weather these days is coldly cruel. It is raining heavily, and storms are hitting our tent with no mercy. The main pillar of the tent has broken many times. It is a poor piece of a stick, and it cannot withstand wind pressure. After each break, I repair the pillar silently, without saying a word, and without any raging reaction. I cannot blame the pillar, cannot get angry with it, because I am broken and collapsed in the same way. I lost everything in the ongoing war. Life in my eyes became nonsense. I lost my only brother, my brother-in-law, my closest friend, my cousin, my neighbors, too many people whom I love, and the house of mine in Deir el-Balah, which has been bombarded. I am no better than the pillar. We are equal and the same, both broken. I have decided to befriend him, and I whisper to him in my gloomy nights. I whisper to him about the burial of my brothers. This war left not one single blank square meter in all of Gaza's cemeteries, And so I wandered many hours with the dead bodies of my brothers, searching for a grave. But alas, I could not find any place for them. Finally, I found a narrow second-hand grave. We buried the two dead bodies in it, and they were crammed in and pressed together like sardines in a can. I whisper about the famine in northern Gaza Strip, as Israeli tanks are blocking every road so that no food supplies can reach people of the north. They are really starving, eating the fodder of animals, grass of the orchards, and the flesh of cats. On the way of my evacuation to Rafah, I met a man who was carrying a little newborn infant weighing maybe 3 kilograms or 6 pounds. She was a girl 4 days old, looking like a rugby ball. Both of her legs were taken off by shrapnel of an artillery shell. I asked the father about her, and she told me she is well, and she takes in a lot of milk. We have a harsh water crisis. Drinkable water is so rare that people are collecting raining drops into their bottles and pots. Most of the water that reaches us is dirty and polluted, and it is causing epidemics of disease among thousands of children. The most recent estimates show that more than 8,000 children in Gaza are afflicted with hepatitis. For more than 3 months, we eat only one meal per day, and most of it is junk food, free from any nutritional value. Countries claiming to help us are, in reality, throwing us their garbage. We are obliged to consume their expired canned beans and beef because we have no other choices. Almost all of Gaza's children are suffering from anemia. Newborn babies cannot have their regular vaccines. Cancer patients are deprived of their chemical or radioactive treatment. Shelves of pharmacies are completely empty. Hospitals of Gaza are performing surgery without anesthetic, and patients are screaming from pain. The smells of blood and death are diffused everywhere. Thousands of dead bodies are not yet retrieved. They're dissolving beneath mountains of blasted rubble. Other bodies lie abandoned in open, wild areas. Israeli tanks are hindering their better treatment, and our dead people are becoming meals for crows and dogs. The Israeli army has bombarded us with insane amount of explosives. The impact of this equals 4 times the Hiroshima bomb. This causes and will continue to cause us a real environmental disaster. Israeli missiles are injecting their poisons into our soil and underground water. Thousands of tons of fatal chemicals have been injected deeply under our feet. They will rise up again and invade our bodies through the vegetables we eat and the water we drink. No doubt, in the future, this will lead to rates of cancer even higher than what we faced in the prison of Gaza before this war began last October. On the way to Rafah, I volunteered to carry a 93-year-old woman on my shoulders. Her mouth was very close to my ear, and she whispered to me, "Son, I lived through the Nakba of 1948." And that was a small episode compared to what is happening now. This is the real Nakba, not the one I remember in 1948. To the pillar of our pitiful tent, I am whispering the same fact. What is happening now has never happened in the history of the Palestinian people. This is more bitter than all our previous catastrophes of 1948, 1956, 1967, 1982, and more. For now, we cannot imagine more than a single day at a time, let alone what people in normal life call the future. In addition to blaming Israel and its savage army over this genocide, I will blame our corrupted Palestinian leaders and those militias who conducted proxy wars for the sake of others beyond our borders. Thank you for watching, but don't stop here. Right now, there are so many powerless, innocent, and precious lives like the Ismaili family in Gaza. You can help. First, by contacting your government officials to demand a ceasefire now. We may feel powerless in the face of this catastrophe, but we can do with our limited capacity as individuals can, and will be multiplied if we each do our little bit. Finally, I would encourage you to check out Dr. Dempsey's website and continue to follow the unfolding story of Gaza. And you'll find that information posted in the last frame of the video. Thank you for watching, and please remember to hit the like button and the subscribe button. Thank you so much.